Welcome back to the I Don't Want a Divorce podcast. Now, this podcast focuses on three main issues: marital crisis, which covers a lot of potential situations, divorce recovery, and dealing with a narcissistic spouse. If you've got a relationship crisis, I don't care what it is, that's what we do. And my practice is really focused on that. So you've got these podcasts, you've got the Ask Dr. Clarke videos, you've got the phone advice service. You can call me and talk to me directly on the phone. Don't do FaceTime, don't do Zoom, don't care about that. But you'll get my voice, you'll get my input, 35 years of experience. Easy to set up through email. Just email me, David E. Clarke, PhD @gmail.com. That's Clarke with an E. We can set it up via email, easy to do. And I'll get the background quickly, and then we'll focus on your particular issue, and you'll have a plan of action at the end of that phone call. And again, I'm probably going to sell you a book, because I've got a book, no matter what the marital crisis, I've got a book that will be specifically focused on your issue. Now, my plans, my strategies are outside the Christian counseling mainstream. I say that, and it's the truth. I'm not necessarily proud of it. It's just the way it is. I am not the typical Christian counselor. I'm not that nice. I'm not passive. I don't humor people. I am blunt. I am direct. I have a plan of action. I speak the truth. I will tell you what not to do and what to do. I've seen God use my methods to help people, to empower people, to get people out of abusive relationships for 35 years. The typical Christian counselor is different. They're nice. They're passive. What was your week like? They have no clear plan of action. You know what? That's not helpful. It's not helpful. So if you've been watching, listening to my podcast and my Ask Dr. Clarke videos for a while, you know I'm unorthodox. I'm out of the box. But I hope you also know I love Jesus, and my methods are rooted in the Bible. That's why they work. I'm not going to recommend anything that isn't in the Bible or doesn't lead to biblical goals. So if you agree with what I'm saying, with my approach, I ask you to leave a 5-star rating and a review on Apple Podcasts. This helps us grow our audience, have more and more impact. And again, for all my books and resources, including my phone advice service, you just go to the website, davideclarkephd.com. Now, last week, I presented the 12 winners of my You Might Be Married to a Narcissist If contest. Now, today and even next week, we got so many responses that were terrific, I thought I will present the honorable mentions. We got a ton of responses, and most of them were just terrific. So, by sharing many of these responses, I will be sharing a pretty comprehensive picture of what living with a narcissist looks like in all its, I shouldn't say glory, it's awful, but you can see the comprehensive picture of what it's like. And if you know someone who is living with a narcissist, or you fear that might be the case, you can get these podcasts to that person. It will make a difference. They can get the Enough is Enough book and start their process of leaving, of getting out. And again, it's a 1-2 punch. You can get the Enough is Enough book. You can also talk to me, your friend or a family member can talk to me in a phone advice session. Okay, here are the first batch of the honorable mentions with some helpful, edgy comments by myself. You might be married to a narcissist if, and this is the person, the narcissist talking, he says, if you contact your family, I will personally lose all respect for you. What are you talking about? Many narcissists will cut you off from your family and your friends. It's control. They want you isolated, to be a pariah. They can talk to their family. They can talk to their friends. You can't. He wants to isolate you so he can control you. He'll force you to choose your family or him. I'm telling you, you choose your family because it's unreasonable and abusive to say you can't contact your family. Now, if your family's crazy and abusive too, okay, you have to cut family members off sometimes. But if that isn't the case, you wouldn't do that. Now, what the narcissist may pick up, if your family has a problem with him, he'll really want them to be cut off. Tough. Choose your family. Don't choose your narcissist. Here's the next one. The narcissist is able to give you the silent treatment for a 9-hour car ride. Oh yeah, I've heard many stories like this. Classic narcissistic technique, the silent treatment. They can go for 9 hours, they can go for 9 days, they can go for 3 to 4 months of isolating you and not talking to you. You're being punished and controlled. The immediate solution is to act like you don't care. They want to make sure you're suffering. You act like you don't care. Listen to music on your phone or read a book. You ignore them too. That's the right immediate response. The ultimate solution is to get my Enough is Enough book and leave him. Let him live in his own dumb silence. Here's a narcissist talking. The next honorable mention. What you don't know about me is I'm top of the food chain. And this is said with a straight face. He believes it. And then he adds, I can have any girl I want. This is often a threat they'll make. I can have any woman. There's a line out the door for me. Yeah, right. I can have any girl I want. I can have a 20-year-old girl. Well, yeah, I guess you can. Doesn't make it right. You know, you're not top of the food chain. You're a bottom dweller. That's what you should tell this dirtball. Of course you can have any girl you want. There are tons of skanks out there on every corner, everywhere. Go ahead. You can tell them, but you can't have me. I don't want you. A reasonable, normal husband would never say this to his wife, for heaven's sake. I'll joke with Sandy sometimes, the blonde, that, prior to marriage, you won the lottery, because there was a line out the door of women that would have, she knows that's not true. We went to college together. It was just her in line. But praise God, she was in line. Here's the next one. You might be married to a narcissist if he or she says, look at you there crying. You are such a depressive person. Ooh, nasty. No compassion. You see, zero empathy. Dead zero. If you're crying, you're a loser. You're a downer. He'll mock you. Instead of a reasonable husband, a loving husband would try to comfort you and try to work you through whatever it is. You dry your tears and you get away from him. That's what you need to do. He'll cry when you take half of his money. Yeah, who cares? Here's the next one. Good story here. You might be married to a narcissist if he buys himself a Lexus SUV in the middle of the divorce, tries to hide his secret bank accounts from the court, classic narcissism, lies about hoarding. This is thousands of dollars worth of money, all right, which he accused you of stealing, she says. Yeah, classic, opposite world. All while refusing to provide financial support for the children and telling the judge he's a man of limited means. Oh, I've seen this a million times. Divorcing a narcissist is no fun. You're going to get it done. You're going to get out. Get the best attorney you can, a tough one, because they'll lie their heads off and use the legal system against you. It's an ugly process. They hide money. They actually make less money so that they can show the court, I'm not making that much money, because they don't want to pay child support. They don't want to pay alimony. Dirt ball of the century. They're all the same. Now, the good news is with the right attorney, courts and the legal system will notice this, all right, with your attorney's help. And you go on what he made the last 4 or 5 years, not what he's suddenly not making money. It's ridiculous. They'll lie, they'll cheat, they'll steal, they'll stall, and they'll lie some more. The only thing worse than the divorce process with a narcissist is staying with a narcissist. Here's a good one. Classic, again, narcissistic behavior. You might be married to a narcissist if he or she blames an affair they initiated on the betrayed spouse. Of course, it's your fault. The adultery can't be his fault. And it's not just partly his fault. It's all your fault. In his crazy head, you're too fat, you're too boring, you're a terrible housekeeper, you were terrible in bed, you didn't meet his needs, on and on, these lame, stupid excuses. Now, the trouble is many pastors and Christian counselors will put not all the blame, but they'll put partial blame on you for his affair. Absolutely categorically wrong and unbiblical. You will find nowhere in the Bible that sin is anybody's fault, 100% fault, other than the sinner. Nobody gets a pass. Nobody gets a pass. Now, you can tell him, hey, go to your skank because I'm done with you. But you don't allow him to blame you. He's going to have to own that. No, he won't, but you have to know the truth. Here's one. He says, I don't want to be married to you anymore. You can stay here until the lease is up. Oh, thank you. You're so generous. But you have to buy your own groceries. Thanks. We can settle outside of court. Oh, they always want to settle outside of court with no lawyers. Let's be friends. Let's save money. Amicably. There is no such thing as an amicable divorce, especially with a narcissist. As long as you do it, here's the kicker, as long as you do it my way, as long as I get the deal I want, it'll be fine. If you don't, I have an arsenal in my back pocket to use against you. Okay, there's the threat. Bring it on. She says this actually happened to her 1 week before the whole COVID crisis hit. Her husband first wanted the bank account. Of course, a surprise attack. Emptied the bank account. Locked me out. Because she had the nerve to get a lawyer. Oh my goodness. And the kicker, he had met someone else online. Yeah, of course he did. Oh my goodness. Now, many narcissists try the without the lawyer's approach, but never do that. They will shaft you. You need a lawyer to make sure. Words are important legally. This is the rest of your life. Make sure you have a tough attorney and you go to war. Don't give the farm away. They want most of the money. They want you to get a bad deal because you deserve a bad deal because you were a bad wife. You can't work with these people. Do not give the farm. I've had some clients give the farm away Don't do that. You might have to give him some concession so he feels like he's won, but you get the best deal you can. Whatever's legal is what you want. Here's one. When he always blames me for all the problems and his actions, even when he cheated on me. Yeah, exactly. Still your fault. And this is a good one. He says that I cannot compare myself to his sister, who is a great woman. Oh, God. Now, she might be. Who cares? In his crazy mind, everything is your fault. Everything. I'm betting his sister isn't a great woman. But even if she is, it doesn't make any difference. It's abusive to elevate her above you. In fact, sinful, unbiblical to elevate any woman above your wife. The Bible says to a husband, love your wife as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. No one is above the wife on the chain. I like this one. You might be married to a narcissist if he tells you over a decade into marriage, you are accountable to me, but I'm not accountable to you. Yeah, class, and with a straight face. I'm only accountable to God. Well, you are, but also to your spouse. Oh, and no, our vows don't matter. You actually wrote them, but only the Bible matters and tells the children, I'm the man. God says I'm in charge. Mommy is sinning. Oh, my goodness. There's no place in the Bible, he says, that says she has the right to ever question me. That's not true. Not even close. And, of course, all these stupid, inaccurate statements are said with a straight face. The Bible I'm reading says he is so accountable to you. This is mutual submission taught in the Bible. Ephesians 5. Vows do matter to God very much. He's not in charge. He's to be the servant leader. And a good wife is to feel free to speak the truth at any time, in any situation. Fortunately, the Bible also says you can leave this narcissist. And that's exactly what you should do. At least physical separation. Here's one. If he works from home, he may be a narcissist. If he works from home and scolds you because you don't check on him every hour in his study. Well, what are you checking on? To see if he's still alive? To see if he needs a coffee? To see if he's still a narcissist? It's ridiculous. This is control and power. And he's, of course, checking on you. That's what it's really about. And just controlling you. I wouldn't check on him one thinking time. He can come out of the study and see what's going on with you. Unless he's crippled and can't walk, forget it. Or you can use a wheelchair. Okay, let's continue now. You might be married to a narcissist if he never takes responsibility and always finds a way to make every problem your fault. Exactly right. And I mean every problem. Don't ever forget that everything is your fault. I'm going to close with this one. Until the next time. You might be married to a narcissist if he dismisses your feelings and turns the conversation to be about him. Oh yeah, everything has to be about him. What you think and feel, frankly, isn't important. And that's not that interesting. He's the interesting one. Your feelings are silly. They make no sense and mean nothing. His feelings, his thoughts, his life means everything. Every story you try to tell, he'll cut you off. It reminds him of a story he wants to tell about himself. That's narcissism. The spotlight must always shine on him. You get to live in his reflected radiance. That's a privilege for you. Actually, it's no privilege at all. Okay, that is the first batch of honorable mentions. And we're going to do this one more time next week in the final podcast on this contest. I'm going to share more honorable mentions and my snarky, helpful comments. All right. Thank you so much for your responses. And again, keep in mind the website, davideclarkphd.com. Clarke of the Day. All Dave Clarke's resources are there, including my phone advice service for those of you who want to talk to me directly. Until next time, I'm out.